In memory of Jim Henson, here's a low-rent turtle sequel complete with a Vanilla Ice song. Why is this movie acting like the first movie made eating pizza in New York a thing? This would be like Caddyshack 2 acting like it invented golf.
Which one of you lucky girls gets a ride with me tonight?
This kid never learned the cardinal rule of employment. Never hit on anyone at work, especially if you deliver pizza.
But when I do, I'll dream of something a little thinner.
Movie promotes fat shaming. Also, this kid's laugh.
Hold it!
Huh?
You guys are under arrest.
Seriously?
You guys are under arrest.
This teenage martial arts master is still delivering pizzas. These other thieves didn't even hear all the commotion outside, so they could be surprise dicks. Also, who plans to rob an entire mall with the lights on? And how many thieves signed on to rob this place? Are we sure it's not a flash mob? Also, this kid has very little to worry about. If this is anything like the last movie, all these guys will take turns trying to fight him.
Help!
Acting. How did these assholes hear about the robbery in progress? Oh, they live right across the street now? How convenient.
Awesome!
Wicked!
Even though these turtle mutants were created in the sewers of New York, they have Southern California accents, with the exception of Raphael.
Eclectic! Eclectic? Jeez.
Did this movie just get self-referential? Also, his bizarre word choice just robbed Michelangelo of his turn to say a word.
Rawhide! RoboCop!
Donatello reminds us that Rawhide and RoboCop existed for no reason. Where does he think he is? In a future DreamWorks movie?
Wait! Check this!
They wait. So here comes that great debate. Are these stupid criminals, or are they criminally stupid? I admit there's no wrong answer. You know when you can tell you're in an imitation sandwich shop? They misspell Reuben. Get ready for all the random guys the turtles fight throughout this movie to do a lot of standing around.
Where?
Well, that leaves a why and when, doesn't it?
Kids love journalism humor. Didn't they say they were going to tie them up? Looks like they suddenly got lazy and just stacked them up. Wait, they really are teens. Stealing is bad, kids, so if you take something that doesn't belong to you, leave a few bucks behind.
I know you. You're,
April O'Neil.
April O'Neil, yeah, the news lady.
Awkward character introduction. Also, new actress. Grocery bag has a large baguette hanging out of it, cliche.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael.
Pranks, comics, skateboarding, and working out are convenient personality markers, in case you can't remember which turtle wears which color mask. Also, April agreed to let the Turtles and Splinter crash at her place. What's more, the extremely cautious Splinter seems to be okay with this arrangement too, putting April in more danger. Also, what happened to Casey Jones? Didn't they force feed that romance to us in the last movie?
Woohoo! Woohoo! Whoa! Pretty good workout, dude!
Constantly feeling the need to make some sort of mouth sound is the absolute opposite of being discreet, which is one of the main rules of being a ninja, and one of the primary things Splinter asks you to do. Michelangelo's pizza should look like a hot mess based on all this shaking, but it seems totally fine.
We brought the dinner.
That's racist.
Ninja pizza?
Pizza that vanished quickly without trace.
That's also racist.
Right, Raph. It's a little tough when about 500 members of the Foot Clan know where you live, you know?
He's right.
What?
You know, I took the time to rewatch the first movie to make sure I'd know what was going on when I watched this one, but it's clear to me now that was totally unnecessary. She was just getting huffy earlier about the house being messy, yet here she is contributing to the problem. Wasn't Shredder brutally compacted at the end of the last movie? I mean, sure, this is a work of fiction where anything can happen, but he was brutally compacted, right? Ah yes, the old recuperate in a landfill trick. Also, evil person's hand reaching out of the ground cliche.
Choose the best men from those that remain to follow the reporter.
Movie basically just explained why the Turtles and Splinter living at April's apartment is the dumbest thing ever.
It's nice to find a company that's doing something to help. It's Techno Global Research Industries. Spokesman, Professor Jordan Perry.
April isn't a reporter anymore. She now does televised press releases.
Excuse me, Professor?
Did April not prep the professor for this interview? It's entirely possible he doesn't know about it, and she's just bothering him at work.
April.
Is it more entertaining or more annoying that Michelangelo is eating a breadstick at a decibel level that is beyond impossible and obviously boosted in post-production for maximum annoyance? This is supposed to be funny because it's happening to Raphael, but it's also actually happening to us.
I can still hear out of this one.
What exactly is he referring to? He has no ears.
Professor, would you mind if I asked you a few follow-up questions?
Not at all. Oh, drat, you know we're gonna have to do it another time.
Good cover, Professor. No one suspects that you just made that up.
Hey, what were you gonna ask?
Well, I don't know.
Based on that interview and this line of questioning, I'm not sure she's qualified to be a journalist.
We gotta take care of this. Now.
Did this guy think Little Shop of Horrors was a documentary? If not, I don't really understand his urgency. Area that is explicitly off limits to the general public is poorly guarded, cliche.
Dandelions.
What he meant to say was giant plastic flower. This guy basically runs out into the open with a secret giant dandelion, and somehow nobody in this group of workers sees him. I mean, Shredder was compacted, right? Mop wife.
Oh, April, you spoiled our surprise!
By coming home to your house.
Join me above,
There's no reason they couldn't have this meeting in the living room.
veiled by a shadow.
too deep to penetrate.
Annoyed by the metaphor too mixed to parse. Ah! Oh, it's just a glass tube. Carry on.
TGRI.
Splinter's never bothered to do any research into their origins whatsoever. This isn't a new company, and though there wasn't Google, back in the day there was a thing called a phone book, and this major corporation in that area was certainly listed.
I knew that there was something else going on with those guys.
Weren't they cleaning up toxic sludge? This doesn't seem like too far a leap. Pyramids are the most scientific of all the shapes.
Well, you're the last one, aren't you?
I say, as Shredder's men come running into the secret lab to steal the ooze.
But if the database is coded, the whole system might go down.
This line was written by someone who doesn't know how computers work. Quick, everyone, get into position behind the turtles rather than just going ahead and kicking their asses right now. Why would you show them the canister? Why aren't you halfway to Shredder's lair yet? Michelangelo throws a jar, and it knocks the canister out of this guy's hand so far that Donatello can catch it. These guys standing on the computers are patiently waiting their turn to have their ass kicked, or they are the worst touring company of the Rockettes I have ever seen. This is highly sensitive material, yet no one seems to be concerned about breaking it. This huddle seems like the perfect time for the foot to get the upper hand, but they seem to be comfortable just standing around. This scene was a lot better when they did it in the Great Muppet Caper.
Ninja, vanish!
It's very helpful to tell the enemy exactly what you're about to do. That's why James Bond is always yelling, "Spy, shoot!"
First we move, then we look.
They have to make sure they give the bad guys enough time to make some terrible creatures.
I didn't order any pizza.
Oh, I know. What the guy in 313 did, and now he doesn't seem to be there.
So I'll take this opportunity to barge in because I'm a licensed pizza delivery guy. And why doesn't April tell this guy to f*** off anyway? Does this happen often?
I thought you might want to know about this.
They claim to be ninjas, but they aren't great hiders. Couldn't they have just gone upstairs or something?
I gave them all names.
Because you barged in and noticed us and fainted, we're going to tell you everything now. Did Raphael just flip us off?
What you're telling me is you guys were all slimed.
It wasn't slime. It was ooze.
Someone forgot to teach me the difference between slime and ooze. That's an indictment on the American school system.
And you of the immense danger if we...
Conveniently timed thunderclap is convenient. This is another example of the turtles' continued failure to conceal themselves when out in public.
Well, the lives of two people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world, Elsa.
Is this Bogart by way of a sped-up Peter Falk? Also, 90s teens love Bogart impressions. Does that stained glass ceiling have access to daylight? Sneezing without a nose. I'm not too worried about this thing. I feel like if it was actually powerful, it would have ripped this flimsy enclosure apart by now. Business ponytail. Does this detached payphone have cell phone capabilities this far underground? This abandoned subway station has electricity and working phone lines. Hell of a find.
The cells will no longer hold them.
Well, those aren't cells. That's just a pile of hastily stacked garbage.
No, you can't do that. They're living creatures.
I mean, kind of.
All these guys gonna have to take a little test. Then, if you're good enough, we let you into the organization.
You've got to fight each other in an no-holds-barred Karate Kid tournament. Considering the sheer number of people in the Foot Clan, there's no way all these assholes won tournaments to get in. But hey, it kind of sounds good for the plot of this specific movie, right?
I knew this would work.
Just remember, we get you in, we find the Foot headquarters.
Yeah. Why would he forget that? Why is he potentially blowing his cover by coming to meet you during the initiation? And even worse, this guy even acknowledges that after they talk. Holy shit, this is stupid. I don't think the dude in the glasses is the sort of teenager they're looking for, on account of him being 35.
You seem to be the only one worthy of a final test.
You'll have 15 seconds. Remove as many of the bells as you can.
The final test for this potential Foot Clan soldier is to steal bells off a mannequin quickly without making noise. You know, common real-world applications you run into all the time as a thief who knows martial arts. Also, now I'm absolutely certain there shouldn't be a lot of Foot Clan soldiers after seeing these tests. Any more than, say, 15 is pushing it. I mean, seriously, all these dumbasses passed the bell test? Come on.
Get out of here, kid.
All these assholes wait while Raphael gives this kid a message. Visible butt pads. Quick, kid, run across something iconic and picturesque. Also, damn, this kid ran all the way back to Manhattan? Hasn't he ever heard of the subway?
Mike! April!
April takes time out of her busy reporting schedule to be an ex machina.
I gotta tell the guys, they got him!
Kino plays the pronoun game so that April has to ask who they are.
These nets are remarkably effective. Very well constructed.
Yeah! Remind me to drop a line to Ralph later!
That there, that's a reference for the parents. Splinter with a bow and arrow ex machina.
Jeez, why didn't you just rip my lips off?
So many Foot Clan soldiers, and yet they're apparently all fighting Michelangelo and Leonardo right now, and allowing Donatello to save Raphael. Also, you see Foot Clan soldiers running by them this entire scene.
Why didn't you just rip my lips off?
Turtle character references a thing normal humans have on their face, but mutant turtles do not. It really takes the fun out of it to watch action scenes like this, where the soldiers are so dumb they stand around and watch individual fights. And this happens right after they surround Raphael and captured him in the last scene, like a good army would do.
You know what they say? The bigger they are.
They are almost the same size as you. Splinter is able to show up just at the right times whenever he is needed, with no explanation as to how he got there.
Of course, laboratories were crude back then, and an accident was just waiting to happen.
Way back in 1976, laboratories were still stuck in 1883.
You mean to tell us that the formation of the Ooze was all just a big mistake?
Why is Donnie so surprised? It's clear that his entire existence is a mistake, right?
Well, on our way to bury them, a near collision caused us to lose one of the canisters down a sewer 15 years ago.
But just one. It was the only canister we didn't secure with rubber bands and scotch tape in the back of our El Camino.
It ain't the Hilton.
Let's face it, you'd be better off staying at the Hilton.
Wouldn't most people? That's really the whole reason you said it ain't the Hilton in the first place, right? Power lines that have one wire on them. What are these old people doing in this seedy alley in the middle of the night? I can only assume they're here to pick up some heroin. Is this guy trying to figure out how they pulled the poles down by tugging on this wire? Or is he just trying to look like he's working because this is actually a kid's movie filled with bad actors?
There is no choice but to meet as the Shredder wishes.
I'd say there are several choices. Go tell the police so they can block off the area, set a series of traps, stay in and eat pizza.
He's just trying to force you guys into fighting Toka and Rothar again.
How does she know their names? I've seen more of those creatures than she has, and I didn't even know their names. To be fair, I'm not sure what the pizza delivery boy's name is. Kivo? Roulette? And the potion is still going to work after this? Movie decides to not so subtly integrate a message about recycling into the movie at the last minute. Don't have a cowabunga, man.
Wait! Wait!
They wait.
Yes, it is. They'll eat anything.
How do you know this? What the f***? Why would they put them in ice cubes and then, I guess, shove them into donuts? Instead of just using the stuff as batter or a glaze. They clearly just needed a way to have the bad guys find out their plan so they could have another fight scene.
You take the ugly one.
No, you take the ugly one.
Why don't you all take the ugly one? Or at least two of you. In the middle of this fight, movie takes time to take in a Vanilla Ice concert. Also, this club booked Vanilla Ice, one of the most popular entertainers at the time, who would probably not be performing in some random club. Can he hear the background music?
Yo, it's the Green Machine, gonna rock the town without being seen.
Suddenly, he knows enough about the turtles to rap about them. Why are these people watching Vanilla Ice instead of the mutant animal fight happening right behind them? That's good river dance.
Carbon dioxide is essential to the anti-mutagenic process.
I guess one ice cube and that stuff was enough to start this reaction. So why did they make so much of it earlier?
I know you're trying to help me, but you can't keep me here, you know.
He's also just a sewer rat who should know nothing about martial arts. Even if this doesn't speed up the reaction, squirting a fire extinguisher in their mouth will surely kill them anyway. If this guy's so easy to defeat, why didn't they do this shell-smashing trick earlier? Shredder stands there dumbfounded with his special canister of ooze while a pizza delivery kid kicks it out of his hands. Shredder is the most useless bad guy in existence. He's basically Darth Vader without any intelligence or the Force. It's hard for me to get emotionally invested in some woman in the club who we don't know. Could they have figured out a way to get April in the club so he could kidnap her, making the stakes a little higher? Then she could have fallen in love with Vanilla Ice. What? Well, now these adorable animals are going to die because they pump compressed CO2 into their mouths.
The last vial of ooze. He must have drank all of it.
The Ooze also upgraded his outfit because, you know, science. Well, he is still just as dumb because him knocking out all these posts is going to cause the deck to collapse.
Nobody could have survived that.
Says the guy who saw Shredder get compacted in the last movie. Also, where's he getting his facts? It would have hurt like hell, but he is wearing armor and It seems pretty plausible that he would survive. Well, okay then, he didn't survive. Or didn't he? When did April get the anchor job? I thought she was a field reporter.
He sounds pretty insistent. Says his name's Donnie. Listen, you can tell.
Shut the f up, Donnie.
Not the mama.
Alrighty then.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Wait! Wow!
Major spin cycle! Whoa!